Manta Ray is a production-quality render engine that has been used in many feature films including Hulk, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, Star Wars Episode II, The Day After Tomorrow, and much more over 3 decades. Manta Ray was a revolutionary render engine in the early 90s and continued to help VFX artists and studios bring their visions to life over many years. Many 3D artists today probably used Manta Ray at one point of their career because it was on top of the world once, but as the decade passed by, it lost its users slowly but surely. Unlike many other computer graphics software that we used and loved over the years, Manta Ray was not taken in the dark with one blow, because it died a slow and peaceful death, but it will be remembered as one of the most iconic pieces of software in the history of computer graphics. This is the story of the rise and fall of Manta Ray. Manta Ray was developed by Mental Images, which is a German computer-generated imagery software firm based in Berlin, Germany. The company was founded by a group of physicists and computer scientists as a company with a limited liability and private limited partnership in April 1986. The Manta Ray software project started in 1986. The first versions were influenced, tested, and used for production by Mental Images, then operating large commercial computer animation division led by 3 visual effects supervisors: John Andrew Purden, an award-winning computer graphics animator and visual effects supervisor; John Nelson, who later in his life won the Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects; Stephen Frankmeyer, visual effects supervisor and film director. One of the first projects ever created using Manta Ray was a short animated film called Mental Images in 1987. By today's standards, it seems to be ridiculous, but in the late 90s, this CG film from Germany is notable at that time as a rare instance of abstract and surreal art in a field where teapots and chrome spheres still dominated, and it was one of the stepping stones to what will be done using Manta Ray in the coming years and decades. The Rise of Manta Ray, the 1990s. On its release year in 1989, which is the same year of the first commercial edition of RenderMan, Manta Ray became one of the entertainment industry's first publicly available renders. During the 1990s, it established itself as a key production tool, both through the studios at which it was used and through original developer Mental Images' partnership with developers of DCC software. Autodesk, Alias, Wavefront, and Avid were early developers, integrating the render engine into 3ds Max, Maya, and Softimage respectively, as were pioneering VFX houses like Industrial Light and Magic and ESC Entertainment. One of the first times when Manta Ray was used on mega blockbuster movies is when it was used to bring the Terminator 2 Judgment Day to life. Digital Domain decided to explore Softimage 3D Manta Ray in an effort to achieve more photorealism for the completely metallic T-Mag. T-Mag is supposed to be a liquid metal poly alloy, so if it doesn't reflect its environment and itself in a photorealistic way, it is not gonna be convincing visually. Self-reflection was especially critical in the creature with 6 moving metallic legs and their complex reflections. So the Digital Domain team turned to the powerful ray tracing of Manta Ray, because the other rendering packages could give you environmental reflections, but with self-reflection you need ray tracing. So they did some tests with Manta Ray and the results were very convincing. In addition to the Terminator movie, Manta Ray was used by many studios such as ALM and Digital Domain to create other fantastic movies throughout the 90s, and Mental Images worked on developing its features to suit the needs of visual effects studios. The Struggle of Manta Ray, the 2000s. By this point, Mental Images had diversified into other parts of the industry, licensing its technology to CAD firms, and launching the Reality Server and ahead of its time real-time visualization system. Although Manta Ray continued to be used in VFX studios and feature animation throughout the decade, particularly on lower budget movies, it gradually began to lose its ground to third-party renderers, initially RenderMan itself, and later a new generation of ray tracing engines including Arnold and V-Ray. Both V-Ray and Arnold were born in the same year. V-Ray developed by Bulgarian company Kaios Group, which was established in Sofia in 1997. It was used for visualization and computer graphics in industries such as media, entertainment, film and video games, product design, architecture, and so on. And in the 2000s, it proved that it is one of the greatest render engines ever created. Also, the beginning of what it is now Arnold emerged in 1997 when Marcos Fajardo decided to write his own render engine and later became a very useful tool for VFX studios. And this emergence of new and powerful render engines kinda took market share from Manta Ray over time, but not right away, because in 2003, Manta Ray Products Development Team won the Scientific and Technical Award when it was used on the Matrix trilogy and Star Wars prequels. Also in 2003, Mental Images completed an investment round led by Viewport Ventures and another large international private equity investor. Even though Manta Ray was entering a period of struggle in the mid-2000s due to competition from other render engines, it continued to be used on big-budget movies by VFX studios such as ILM. Industrial Light and Magic credited Manta Ray for significant advances in virtual cinematography that they achieved in creating VFX for Poseidon. Manta Ray was used to visualize Poseidon scenes, a vessel that would be 300 meters long and 70 meters wide in real life. Although no actor ever stepped foot on the physical ship, the advanced rendering capabilities of Manta Ray allowed ILM's visual effects artists and engineers to generate the needed details and sophisticated lighting for the ship to fit seamlessly into the scenes. ILM said that the only way to achieve this level of photorealism needed to create the Poseidon was through ray traced global illumination. They have ray traced using Manta Ray at ILM for many years, and the level of complexity on Poseidon make it the obvious choice. They knew from day one that this would be the most difficult project to render and that Manta Ray was the best solution. Not only the render engine created fantastic images, but the level of support they got from Mental Images staff in Berlin and Los Angeles was essential. In December 2007, Mental Images has become a wholly owned subsidiary of NVIDIA Corporation with headquarters in Berlin, subsidiaries in San Francisco and Melbourne, as well as an office in Stockholm. After the acquisition by NVIDIA, the company has been renamed NVIDIA Advanced Rendering Center. NVIDIA acquired Mental Images to bring AI and further GPU acceleration to graphics in the VFX industry and for architectural visualization users. But its attempt to save and resurrect Manta Ray will prove to be futile in the coming years. The beginning of the end, the 2010s. Manta Ray continued to be widely used in DCC work well into 2010s, particularly among 3ds Max users for whom Autodesk provided unlimited Manta Ray network rendering nodes. By that point, Autodesk owned 3 of the key products in which the render engine was integrated, having acquired both Maya and Softimage in the early 2000s. However, Autodesk's relationship with Manta Ray was beginning to unravel when it announced in 2015 that the render engine will not come pre-installed in Maya by default. The beginning of the end of a golden era for Manta Ray came the following year in 2016 when Autodesk acquired Arnold developer Solid Angle. Autodesk offered Arnold as a standalone render engine for both Autodesk products and third-party applications including Houdini, Katana and Cinema 4D on Linux, Mac and Windows. And both Autodesk 3D modeling platforms, 3ds Max and Maya, continue to do this by supporting other third-party render engines in addition to Arnold. Maya 2017, which shipped later in 2016, jettisoned the bundled version of Manta Ray in favor of Arnold, a pattern repeated in 3ds Max 2018 as well. This decision made a lot of sense, and render engines such as Arnold was becoming more and more powerful and popular as it was used in big-budget projects, and in January 2017, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences recognized Fajardo with the Scientific and Engineering Award for the creative vision and original implementation of the Arnold render engine. Although NVIDIA attempted to retain its Autodesk users, launching its own plugin versions of Manta Ray for both applications and offering a discount to users of its workstation GPUs, sales proved to be underwhelming. By 2018, NVIDIA has decided to stop its development of Manta Ray, but continue to support the existing customers through the end of their subscription period ending in November 2018. Although this is a logically correct decision from a business standpoint, it shocked many artists who did not even use it to do their work. After all, for many, it was the very first render engine on which a large number of various projects were created from scratch. If you learned how to use Autodesk software in the 2000s or the early 2010s, it was almost certainly the render engine you started out on, because it was the Autodesk's reference render engine. With its demise, the entertainment industry has lost not only one of the best known applications, but also one of the few direct links into the pioneering past. I hope you found this video useful and informative. If you have something to add, you can leave it in the comment section below. Also, you can check some of our previous videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.